you should already know what this is. And for those of you that aren't, just chill. See, we're going to get down to the other stuff here in a second. But what I'm always trying to get everybody to understand is everything is vibration. So, before we do anything else, just vibe. Everything is vibration. Make sure you hit the like button as you come in the door. And in doing so, understand this is not about ego. No, this is about algorithm. This just helps us expand the platform. That way, if you're not trying to hear what I'm trying to say, at least we can get out to the next motherfucker who is. Vibe. Yeah. Just let it seep in. Peaceful aura. Thank you for welcoming us with your presence. We're going to take just a few minutes to let a few more people trickle in, and then we're going to get down to the nitty gritty. Now today, that means we're going to touch on the transits and elaborate on the aspects that might be affecting you. But then after that, we're going to get into the PrIcElEs. Top 5 easiest ascendant signs to live with in astrology. Not the best, because there is no such thing. The easiest. Cat of heart. Commissioner of the Vibe Tribe, Heather Nielsen, is in the motherfucking house. Now, look, if you haven't smiled yet today, now would be the perfect time to do so. And if you can't find a smile for yourself, please allow me to be the smile on your face. Because at the end of the day, all I am is the smile on your face. All I am is the motherfucking vibe. What do you need?
EaSiEsT.
Everything is vibration. What's up, man? I'm feeling blessed. Too blessed to be stressed about some bullshit. Just fine. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Look, this is priceless knowledge of self. We are the Vibe Tribe. There are thousands of us all over the world. That means we're not thirsty for subscribers. We're not hungry for attention. No, we're here to raise this vibration with knowledge and information. So we're going to talk about astrology and numerology and all types of stuff that helps you understand yourself and energy better and thus raise your vibration. So if it's not for you, swipe up, bitch. Because if you come in on some troll shit or some fuck shit, you're just going to expose yourself. And doing so also means you're excluding yourself from this awesome vibe that we have. And once you do so, either myself or one of my constituents, meaning my moderators, are going to ban you immediately. I'm talking about exile you expeditiously. And it's not out of hate. No. It's out of love. We have a vibration to maintain. You separated yourself from that. So you'll be able to observe. You just won't be able to participate. And you did it to you. Now, with that being said, we're going to touch on the transits and elaborate on the aspects that might be affecting you here in just a few minutes. But first, the vibe is the most important part. because the knowledge comes naturally. You hear me? And so, just vibe. Just vibe. Let that saxophone calm you down for this Taurus moon. Enjoy every moment, every note. Yes, sir. Hit the like button if you haven't hit the like button yet. Because after we talk about the transits, we're going to get into the PrIcElEs top 5 easiest ascendant signs in astrology. Not the best. There's no such thing. The easiest. I'm a Libra ascendant, can you tell? What's up, Shine? I can dig it, Heather. My Capricorn Mars really don't trip over small shit. You understand? This business, it ain't personal. Make sure y'all hit the like button as you come in the door. And in doing so, understand this is not about ego. Nah, this is about algorithm. This just helps us expand the platform. That way, if you're not trying to hear what I'm trying to say, at least we can get out to the next motherfucker who is. Make sure you subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet. It's about that time for you to open up your ear and let me crawl into your mind. One time.
This is PrIcElEs production.
Are y'all ready to get to go into what's up cosmically?
This
What's
is
up, Love
Pitch
12?
Production.
Hold the fuck up. Everybody say what's up to my apprentice, Love 12. What's up, Love 12? How you doing? Y'all make sure y'all go subscribe to her channel, Anchoring Divinity. You feel me? She gonna put some more content up. But yeah, I can vouch that she's an awesome astrologer herself. Because I taught her. Now, 79311, send me an email at mr.turner1300@gmail.com and I'll send you a price list and then we can go from there. Lakim Ra, House of Intuition. What's up, family? All right. And make sure y'all hit the super sticker, the super thanks, the super chat. Hit that cash app that's pinned. Shit. My car fucked up about 2 weeks ago. I got to get this car fixed. But even besides that, just because it's priceless don't mean it's free. You hear me? So, yeah. Let's vibe.
This is PrIcElEs.
It don't bother me. Because I know a lie when I see one. My teeth might be fucked up. But these lips... Never that.
This is PrIcElEs Production.
Do that. 79311. We're finna get into what's going on cosmically, but after that, we're gonna get into the priceless top 5 easiest ascendant signs in
This is
astrology.
PrIcElEs Production. This is PrIcElEs Production.
No, I did that. Heather.
This is McSwap Production.
Now, let's talk about what's going on cosmically.
Other arms reach out to me. Other eyes smile.
See, the sun as we speak is sitting at 28 degrees of Virgo. So this is where the particulars come into focus. For these next 2 days, little bitty stuff really matters. That means when you're dealing with other people, the small shit matters, like consistency, consideration. But it also means some small shit can really fuck you up. You can get caught up in the details, end up stuck. Yeah, I know. But look, you just have to take a procedural approach. That means start small, work on what you can work on, little by little. And then by the time you get done, you'll figure out that you have something accomplished. Yeah. This is where you find the most efficient expression of your ego. This is where your health is also your wealth. And I'm not just talking about your physical health. I'm talking about your mental health. Yeah. Do you hear me? Now, I will say this. The sun is trying to Uranus and Pluto, so we have this grand trine going on. In Virgo, Taurus, and Capricorn. And so, hey, you just got to get to work. You have to shift your focus to results. It's not just about effort or intention, it's about results. If you do so, you can succeed. You definitely can succeed. I don't think you hear me though. Yeah. The sun is trying to Uranus, so basically, when you look at this from that being Virgo and Taurus, you just need to get to work. You just need to handle your business. You hear me? And then that can pay off in a multitude of ways. Now, this could also be when you get frustrated, you get stuck on some small shit, you get frustrated, and then you take this stubborn approach that makes you act out of character. That's also a possibility. I don't think you heard me. I said the devil is in the details. I said it's time to get to work. Now, with the sun trying to Pluto, and it's being Virgo and Capricorn, yeah, you have responsibilities. Matter of fact, it's a duty. It's a fucking duty. If you get to work, you can make things better. But if you get frustrated, you end up looking at everything from a negative perspective, which is very easy to do. As a matter of fact, with this being Virgo and Capricorn, it's almost natural to notice what's wrong first. But as you do, that gives you the opportunity to fix it. But if you don't let that be the case, then you can get depressed, down, disenchanted, discontented, fucked up, frustrated, and then stubborn and stuck because this whole grand trine has an effect in its own right. So you gotta be careful. Yeah. You gotta be careful. Now, that brings us to the moon, because the moon is in Earth also. But the moon loves being where it's at. See, the moon is sitting at 7 degrees of Taurus. So, first of all, understand the moon is exalted in Taurus. Why? Because it's calm, cool, collective, it's chill, it's conservative, it's safe. And so, even though Scorpio is water, the moon falls in Scorpio because it's turbulent, chaotic, dangerous, toxic even. See, there's some places in the pits of the motherfucking ocean where it's not just the creatures in the water that might kill you. It's not just the current, but it's the weight of all that water on top of you. And not only that, there can be noxious gases coming up from holes in the ocean floor. It's a whole different environment. But here the moon is calm. People are going to be calm. People are going to be patient. But you can also find yourself being indulgent, lazy, hedonistic. Alright? Just so you know. But I can't say Mercury is sextile out of Mars. So you have to let this, not Mercury, the moon, pardon me. The moon is sextile out of Mars. So what you do have to do is let this chill you out. You got all these emotions. You are sensitive. But you can still chill. See, the beautiful thing is Mars is in Cancer, so that's ruled by the moon. So you look at what the moon is doing, the moon is in Taurus. So you just have to employ your patience for yourself in this situation. That means take care of what you can take care of and don't let the rest get the best of you. I don't think you heard me though. What's up, Zach? We love you, fam. Now, oh, I love that. Just be careful. The moon in Taurus is awesome, but you could also find yourself sitting fat down south. You know what I mean? That means you don't want to move at all. You stuck. You might be a little too indulgent, and that's not all the way healthy for you. Take it from me. I have to remind myself, you said you wanted some pizza, not a whole pizza to yourself. I had to check myself just now. I'm already fat. And so I had to tell my lady she was going to the store, and she's like, what do you want me to get? And it's so easy for me to say, well, get a bucket of chicken. Get a bucket of chicken and bring that too. We already eating dinner and lunch, but you know, have that chicken as a side. So yeah, that can be a motherfucker too. What's up, Surrey Moon? Smile right fucking now before I get mad and go home. If you're here and you haven't hit the like button, hit the motherfucking like button right now. Vibe. Yeah. This is an experience. Yeah. Now, with the moon sextile to Mars, you just have to allow yourself to be patient with your emotions, be patient with the situation. Maybe even be proud of your sensitivities. It's not a weakness, it's a strength. Alright. But more than anything else, let that moon calm you down. Now, AA, you said, how is my health? I don't know. I don't feel bad today. Still got a hernia. My throat has been doing better, but I still have a hernia. But yeah, there's that. I'm blessed regardless. Thank you, Peaceful Aura. No, actually, what happened is I was already, I mean, I was skinnier, but I always had muscles. And so when I do put on bulk, it does sit on me pretty well. I mean, you just can't see that goddamn stomach. But yeah, other than that, up here, and I work out a lot still. I haven't been hitting the gym, but I still do probably 750 push-ups a day. No, it wasn't confirmed as a hernia. I can tell it's a hernia because I know what else pops out and pushes back in. It's definitely a hernia. There wasn't an ultrasound, but I went to the triage at the emergency room when it happened. And they basically said, oh yeah, that's a hernia. But yeah. Now this one is in my groin. It's in my groin. And it doesn't hurt a lot, but it is an annoyance. It is scary. Because, you know, it's fine until it isn't. When it comes to a hernia is fine until it isn't. It could be fine for years and then for the rest of your life, but it could also get strangulated or what they call incarcerated. And if that happens, then it becomes a medical emergency. And then you have to get there and get it fucking fixed and get your guts fixed before you fucking die. But yeah, that answers the question. But I feel great. Just vibe. Now, this motherfucker keeps going out. That's how you know you rolled one good. If you won't stay lit, you might have did what you were supposed to do. But yeah. No, don't get it twisted. A hernia, it's fucked up. Like I smoke, and so I'm terrified to cough. If I cough, it pops out. I can literally, if I cough too hard, I can literally feel it pop out. You have to hold your fucking guts in when you go use the restroom. I can't sleep the way that I used to sleep. I can't sleep on my stomach, or which is my favorite position, or even on my side. I have to sleep on my back. Be all right. Hit the like button if you haven't hit the fucking like button. Now, let's talk about Mercury. Because Mercury is sitting at 19 degrees of Virgo. So, let's look at this like this. Mercury is not only at home in Virgo, but it's also exalted there in the estimation of a lot of astrologers. I myself look at Mercury as being exalted in Aquarius, but traditionally, Mercury is exalted in Virgo. So that means people are going to be sharp. They're going to be on point. People are going to be very analytical, critical, technical. I'll say people are going to be trying to hear and tell the literal facts. But there might not be a lot of tact. This ain't Libra. You're not looking for the right emphasis and the right inflection. You try to tell people how the fuck it is. Now, I can say this. With Mercury in Virgo, you can either be incredibly sharp, you can be detail-oriented, or you can be entangled in the minutia so much that the situation just decays around you. It's that easy to do. For anybody. So, what you gotta do is take care of things little by little. Now, I can also say Virgo is mutable. Pardon me, I almost said fixed, but Virgo is mutable. And so there is a certain amount of frenetic or nervous energy that comes along with this. So you might need a lot more rest and meditation than you normally do. All right? That just is what it is. And then, thank you, Ali. And then Mercury is square to Jupiter. And this is Jupiter in Gemini, which is also ruled by Mercury. And so this is too much mental energy. First of all. This is where people might be talking too motherfucking much. You might be thinking too much. This can be really, really nervous. You hear me? And so, with Mercury square to Jupiter, it can be really hard to concentrate. Because there's just stuff coming in from all directions. You're picking up stuff from other people. You're picking up stuff from your own thoughts. You're picking up stuff from your environment. And so that shit is just constantly going. And so when your wheels are spinning constantly, there's always the possibility of some bullshit getting caught up in there, or for you to get overstimulated or frustrated. You can also see where people are just talking. And the problem with that is people are saying a whole bunch of shit, but how much of it is relevant? How much of it is true? Jupiter's in Gemini, so there's a lot of information being spread around. But is this facts? Is it even wise that what's being said should be being said? Or you just bumping your motherfucking gums? Yeah. Now, let's look at Venus. Because Venus is now sitting at 27 degrees of Libra. So by the time we come back, the sun will be in Libra and Venus will be in Scorpio. So it's going to be some crazy energy out here. Believe me, I've dealt with some Libras with Venus and Scorpio, and them are the craziest motherfuckers out here. If you don't get your psychotic stalking ass back. But anyway, look. With Venus sitting here at 27 degrees of Libra, this affects me especially because it's on my South Node. It's and my South Node is ruled by Libra. I mean, it's ruled by Venus, pardon me, because Venus rules Libra, pardon me, but I would just say with us sitting here at 27 degrees of Libra, this is a very pleasant energy. It's polite. It's cordial. It's accommodating. It's nice. But nice doesn't mean good. You hear me? Polite doesn't mean honest. And people forget that. They lose sight of that. See, in Libra season, people are caught up in the appearance of things more than anything else. Now, that can make people incredibly artistic. Or it can make people incredibly superficial. You might even catch yourself being vain. Now, relationships. Relationships are going to be the main domain with Venus and Libra. But this is only just for a couple more days. That's where it gets more intense and passionate. And we'll talk about that next Wednesday because I have readings to do booked until Wednesday. So after today, I probably won't be back. Maybe on Monday at some point. It depends on how long I have to do this interview. I have an interview with Kier Johnson. Shout out to Kier. He be here a lot of the times. He don't be saying anything. But shout out to Kier. But with Venus and Libra, look, I would just say that make sure that you know what's going on with you. You give yourself the space to understand what's going on with you too. All right, because we can get so caught up in other people, not just in their preferences, but also in their opinions. We can see ourselves being way too easily influenced, way too over-conciliatory. We'll talk more about that here in a second. So you do have to be careful. All right. What you want matters too. But what if I said I want you? That's that Venus and Libra. Miss Colston. Miss Colston. What's up with it? Miss Colston got that money, y'all. I need to hold something. What's up to the Rainbow Goddess? Not just anywhere either. The Bushwick Rainbow Goddess from New York City. Yeah. By way of Columbia, right, Iris? Is that right? I want to make sure I got that right.
Young Shad, you killed this track.
My family. She ain't around all the time, but Iris been riding with me since the beginning. And I'll always, always, always be loyal to Iris. Yeah. Shout out to all the Day One Vibe Tribe. Now, Venus is square to Pluto. And oh man, this is where Pluto can stress you out. You know, there's this intense energy that's coming into our relationships. And it's not just our intimate relationships because all of us aren't really committed. For those of us that are, this is going to affect it. Damn, what happened, Iris? Why'd you get out of the hospital? All of us are going to be affected because it's not just with your partners. It's with your family members. It's with your close friends. You hear me? with Venus square to Pluto, and this being Libra and Capricorn. Oh, shit. All right, this is where there's going to be some arguments because there's going to be control issues within your relationships. I can feel you. I feel you on that. Judo Lamb says, "This is a Venus and Scorpio thing to try to get reactions from people to see what they can and can't handle." I don't. That's not a trait that I would attribute to it. It's attributed to something, no. But yeah, Venus is approaching or applying, as we say in astrology. You have separating and applying. Applying means the quicker moving astrological body is approaching or getting closer to the slower moving one. All right. Now, separating means the exact opposite. It means it's already made that aspect and it's moving out of aspect. So you can just say it's coming into aspect. That means applying. You'll hear some astrologers say, well, this is applying a conjunction or applying an opposition or a square. But you also have separating. Separating means it's moving away from aspect. Let me change that. We already heard that, but that bitch be jamming though. Now, when you see Venus square Pluto, here's the thing. Not only is there going to be control issues or power dynamics, it's also where one person feels like the other person is being mean, where the other person can feel like the other person is being fake. Or in your personal life, as far as feelings go, it's like you feel fucked up inside, you feel frustrated, but you're still trying to play nice. You're trying your hardest to be polite, you're trying your hardest to be cordial with people, but you still feel frustrated with life. People still feel like there's something building up that's just probably disastrous. And they might be right. There could be some manipulative energy. It's where people are playing nice, trying to control you. See, that's the also fucked up side of Venus square to Pluto. See, here's something I know what to do. I'll show you a perfect example of something I do. Even with my own relationships. And this is on my south node, so this is something that's natural to me. I know how to play nice to somebody and cater to their ego and allow them to think they're in charge by doing what they want to do when really I'm in control of the situation, because I know how to cater to your ego. I know how to let you do what you want to do so much that you're not worried about what the fuck I'm doing. You hear me? I know how to give you the illusion of control. Can you handle that? Hit the like button if you haven't hit the like button yet, before I get mad and go the fuck home. Now, let's look at Mars. Because Mars is sitting at 9 degrees of Cancer. What's up, Ember? And with Mars at 9 degrees of Cancer, shit, this is where the emotions have to be accounted for. And that complicates the expression of this energy. See, everything is personal with Mars in Cancer. People take things more personally. People are in their feelings about shit. People are more sensitive to the situation. And being sensitive to the situation doesn't mean they're sympathetic to your situation. It means they're sensitive to their own situation. You hear me? And the emotions make things more complicated than they have to be. Do you hear me? It's like, oh, you like, you tripping like that. Yeah, I know. See, with Mars in Cancer, when the emotions have to be compensated for, it makes things more complicated than it has to be. And the thing is, there is a lot of passion. There's so much passion with Mars in Cancer, but it doesn't come to the surface directly. So people can be passive aggressive until they're aggressive aggressive. People are going to have very dynamic emotions and thus very dynamic emotional reactions. Yeah. And Mars is going to be in Cancer for a while. Well, really, Mars is going to go through Cancer, and then it's going to station retrograde in Leo, and then it's going to come back through Cancer again. And so Mars is going to be around this area probably till early 2025, and it's just September. I think we're going to have maybe 4.5, 5 months of Mars spending time in Cancer and Leo. And that could be a motherfucker. Don't get it twisted. Now, I wouldn't know. I have Mars in Capricorn. I have the opposite of this. So for me, it's always business. But it's in the 4th house, so my business, I take that personally. But for people with Mars in Cancer, and when this energy is sitting here on top of all of us, people just take things more personally than they have to be. It ain't business, it's personal. And when you take everything personal, it's hard to get a lot accomplished with this energy. There's plenty of energy, plenty of passion. But because the emotions have to be compensated for, it just doesn't operate efficiently. It's like when motherfuckers say, oh, you in your feelings, huh? Always. I always am. Hold up, I gotta use the phone real fast. Hold up, y'all. I gotta do something real fast. Let's see if I get cussed out. I'm calling the Capricorn.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person you're trying to reach is
That's
not
what happened when you
available.
call a
At the
Capricorn.
tone, please
Maybe she's trying to call me.
What do you want? I didn't pick up the first time for a reason.
Okay. My bad. I'll call you back in a minute. Told you. You never fuck with a Capricorn. Now I'm gonna stop antagonizing people on purpose. But I guess she's busy. That's how it happens. Anyway, that's my life every day. What else was I gonna say? Where were we at? Oh, Mars in Cancer. Yeah, it's just real hard not to take everything personally and not to act emotionally. Cattle Heart said that's sort of hot. Sort of sometimes, but it's also fucking annoying sometimes. Like, why are you so fucking mean? Like, why is your ass so fucking mean? It don't make no sense to be that ornery. I have to say that at least 500 times a day. But I mean, this is something I've always known. Like, why are you so fucking ornery? Look, now she's gonna be nice. You just went off on me in front of the whole world. I'm not.
You should have had me on speaker, Roderick.
So what happened? All right. Well, I was trying to catch you if you were still in there to see if you could get some green games while you're there. All right, bye. Stinky, come here. You're the only Capricorn that's not mean. My dog is the only Capricorn that's not mean. But yeah, they be mean as hell. Cattle Heart says she can be mean to them. Nah, Capricorns be mean as fuck, bro. Come here. Say hi, baby. You want to take it to the microphone? You made your appearance today. Let me move the mic. Did you just fart? I know you just didn't fart on me. Man, I'm done with y'all fucking Capricorns for today. Get off me. Get off me. See? Fucking don't come up. No. Get off the bed. Yeah, they can be fucked up. Especially when they're trying to do something. That was the point. I knew I was going to get that reaction. But anyway, yeah. There's Venus square to Pluto. There's Mars square to the black moon Lilith. See, Mars is in Cancer, but it's also square to the black moon Lilith in Libra. And so them emotions, and really T-squared to the nodal axis. So those emotions can really get in the way of being nice. Yeah, they be mean. I've only met a few nice ones, and they're only nice to people they don't really know. That's the problem with Capricorns. They be nice to some people sometimes, but they be... Yeah, you don't call them. Don't call them. She's already doing something. She said, y'all didn't hear the second time because I just didn't want to hear the world you cussed down. But she said, I'm at the store. I had to walk all the way back around because I forgot something. Like, that's my fault. I had to walk all the way back around because I forgot something. And she started just going off. And I'm like, hey, I wanted you to get this for me. No, I'm not going back in there. I should like, God damn. See, she talks shit, but they still do it. She talked shit, told me no, and then she just texted me and said, I went back in to get it, but our Uber showed up, so I had to run back out. That's my favorite. One of my all-time idols, Pimp C, was a Capricorn Sun Pisces Moon. No, they'll do stuff for you, and Capricorn's trick. Before I get into all the other stuff, don't get it twisted. Capricorn's trick. Capricorn spend some money on your motherfucking ass. Now, I still have to pay my bills. Don't get it twisted. I'm the breadwinner around here, but Capricorn they'll spend some money. They'll talk shit about it, but they definitely will spend some money. Don't get it twisted. Capricorn's trick. If you catch them in a good mood, if they start feeling bad, they're not going to say I'm sorry, but they will go buy you something. That's the truth. If you piss a Capricorn off, they ain't going to say I'm sorry. They are not going to say I'm sorry, but they will go buy your ass something. Don't get it twisted. And they fuck like gremlins. That's for real. That's the one thing. But yeah, Capricorns are a motherfucker, man. Like, why are you so fucking mean? Like, to people in traffic. I don't know how many times I'm like, man, why are you going off on them people like that? Like, chill the fuck. And she's an Aries rising too, so it'd be like, man, you going off. Like, it's no point in you fucking going off like that. And she be going smooth the fuck off. Like, really? Yeah, that's what they'll do. No, you can't fuck with her. And I'll be having to tell her, stop being mean to the neighbor's kids. she ain't mean to our kids, but that's some Capricorn shit. Like, stop being so fucking mean to the neighbor's kids. She really don't mean, she really ain't about shit though. She has Mars. She has Mars in Pisces. She just be talking a lot of shit. She just seems mean because she's soft. That's Capricorn for you. Capricorns are very abrasive and they have this attitude because they don't want to get taken advantage of, because they feel like they've been taken advantage of. See, that's the thing with Capricorns, is they feel like their whole life they've been taken advantage of. Now look, she's here now. She's here now, but she's coming in smiling. Like, she's gonna come in smiling just like she didn't just snap on me 5 seconds ago in front of the whole world. But yeah, Capricorns, they'll be fucking rude as fuck to just about anybody, mean just about anybody. They don't want people approaching them and stuff because they don't want people to think they're weak. They do not want people to think they're weak. And they don't want to feel like they're getting taken advantage of. They'll do anything for you, but the minute they feel like they're getting taken advantage of, you're going to get a very opposite approach. What's up, man?
I need a lighter. It stinks in here. It smells like straight weed before you even woke up to the house.
Is that not lit right
No,
there?
it's not. If
Oh,
it was,
yeah.
it was burning the wall.
Ain't nothing burning the goddamn wall.
Here, Daniel. Where are they at?
Some of them, if they have them Aquarius placements, they might be a water bearer.
Here, I'll
Get the puppy.
Come on, Chief, let's go. Come on.
Bring it back.
I will. Sorry, I got so mad. It's hot. I'm sweating.
Did y'all hear her say sorry? Did y'all hear her say sorry? She never said sorry. Did y'all hear her say sorry? That just made my day. That made my day. It's just because y'all are here, though. She's going to cuss me out within the next 30 minutes. When we get off the live, she's gonna snap on me my ass for something again. For not rinsing the dish out or for leaving the light on or something. That's what they do. Shit. Capricorn and Cancer are opposites, but they're also so much more like each other than any of the other ones on the axis. Capricorn and Cancer are two sides of the same coin. The thing is, Capricorn is the way they are because they don't want people to, like I said, take advantage of them. I think they're soft.
Okay. Thank you.
They don't want that shit. But Cancers also are kind of the same way. Like, the thing is, Cancer kind of wants to be like Capricorn in a way. But Capricorn, they don't realize Capricorn is already just like them. Yeah, she was apologizing to y'all. Because she ain't apologizing to me. Because she gonna snap on me in just a few minutes. So yeah, there's that. 79311 said Capricorns be squirting. Do y'all be squirting? I heard. I did see. I did see a few. Mine don't. But the fact of the matter is, she's not somebody who would feel comfortable pissing in somebody's face. Y'all got me all off the trends, but for real. My Capricorn don't, but she's just not the type of person who would be comfortable with straight pissing. Mars in Pisces either. Mars in Pisces. She has Mars in Pisces, but she's a Capricorn, so maybe the Capricorn is keeping her from doing it. Look, Licious Booty said for the right one. Ain't the right one. Just depends on how pissy you are. Yeah. I mean, it was all cool until I had one some years ago who, she ain't holding back. She, like I just said, she don't, I mean, maybe so, but she don't feel comfortable just pissing. Like, not everybody feels comfortable just pissing like that. We grown. We are grown. Everybody ain't just gonna piss on somebody. I don't know. I had an Aquarius that was the water bearer for real. Don't get me in trouble because she also has Venus in Scorpio. Y'all trying to get a nigga killed. She got all the dangerous placements. Aries rising. Capricorn sun, Libra moon, Venus in Scorpio. This motherfucker here is psychotic. Yeah. Pluto in the 7th house, conjunct her Venus in Scorpio. She a motherfucker. She used to be crazy, but she ain't no more. No, Libra moon is tolerant. They're not chill. It's just, she ain't chill. She ain't. My daughter's a Libra moon too, and she ain't chill. She's unemotional. That's what that fucking Libra moon does. Makes them unemotional. She mean, but she is unemotional like that motherfucker. Indecisive and unemotional. That Libra moon just means they don't know what the fuck they want to eat. Hey, what do you want to get to eat? I don't know. You pull up at the restaurant. What do you want? I don't know. That's what the Libra moon means. What are you gonna get? Well, you know we're not eating the same thing. That's what Libra moon means. What do you want to drink? I don't know. Y'all gonna get me in trouble. Let me stop making fun of my child and my lady. Shit, y'all gonna get me busted. But for real though, I got 2 Libra moons here. I got 2 Gemini. Well, not here. My daughter's not here. But I got my 2 Gemini moon sons and a Virgo moon son. And then my oldest daughter has Cancer moon. And she has Lilith in Cancer. But for real, that's what the Libra moon is. What do you want to eat? I don't know. Where do you want to eat? Well, I'm a Libra rising, motherfucker. I don't know either. Why the fuck you think I asked you? That's the problem. We get into a whole argument because neither one of us want to choose about what to eat. Happens almost every time we go out to eat. What do you want to go out to eat? I'll ask her, what do you want? Because I don't know. What do you want to go out to get something to eat? I don't know. And then I'll get mad. Why you won't fucking choose somewhere? But it's because I don't. It's because I can choose. But for real. Fuck it though. It is what it is. Now, back to the transits. We got all off task because of y'all. You done got me cussed out. Yeah. Let's look at Jupiter. Jupiter is sitting at 20 degrees of Gemini. So, hey, people gonna be talking a lot of shit. They have been talking a lot of shit. Motherfuckers just be talking, period. People are seeking stimulation, but it's real easy to get overstimulated too. With Jupiter and Gemini, there's a lot of information out there, but a lot of it is also misinformation. You're also going to see people playing a lot with Jupiter and Gemini. Everybody got fucking jokes. And people be playing about shit that ain't even funny. Like, I don't even know why you playing like that, player. Why the fuck are you playing like that? That's an issue. They do be laughing at serious time, but motherfuckers be just playing a lot right here. Now, there's also going to be a whole bunch of fucking scamming with Jupiter and Gemini. There's going to be a whole bunch of scamming and stealing, lying, mischief. See, if this energy gets bored, mischief ensues. See, this is what happens because Jupiter is stationing. It's not retrograde yet, but it's stationing. That means it's slowing down. Some people call it that pre-retrograde shadow phase, but I call it stationing. Because Jupiter is not going to move very much more over the next 2 months, 3 months. And then it's going to station retrograde and start moving backwards next month. here in just a few weeks, actually. Let me make sure I got the date right. On October 9th, all the way till February 4th. And so with this right here, this is where the shit can get tricky. It can get chaotic, even messy. So shit is gonna get messy. You know what I was thinking the other day? This is probably not gonna happen, but it's a possibility. What if at the Super Bowl, Kendrick Lamar brings out Drake? What if at the Super Bowl, Kendrick Lamar brings out Drake? That shit would be crazy. Not gonna happen, but what if it did? In the times we live in, anything's possible. And they were holding boys before all of this shit. And Kendrick keeps saying, Kendrick, as much shit as he talks, he keeps saying, I love you. This is out of love. If it wasn't, it would be worse. Whatever they have going on. And this beef with them started when Jupiter came into Gemini. And so what happens if Kendrick Lamar brings out Drake at the motherfucking Super Bowl and they perform Poetic Justice? The Super Bowl is still a family event. So I do not think they will let him perform Not Like Us at the Super Bowl calling another man a pedophile. I just don't think they'll let him do that. But I do think there's going to be some more messiness. I think there's going to be some messiness behind this election because when Jupiter is stationed in here, and as soon as Jupiter does station for retrograde and it sits there, it's going to be sitting at 22 degrees, well, 21 degrees. It's going to be sitting at 21 degrees for a while. Oh, did she get the chicken?
Yeah.
Did she get barbecue sauce?
Mama, did you get barbecue sauce?
Yeah, do that. Let's do that. Let's do that tonight. All right, son. Thank you. See, now she's trying to butter up. She's talking about, you want me to make buffalo wings tonight? You want me? I'm a Cancer. I ain't gonna let it go. You know I want some motherfucking buffalo wings. Stop playing with me. Shit, you know I want some motherfucking buffalo wings. Shit crazy. But yeah. Jupiter and Gemini, man. It's gonna be a trip. It's been a trip already. There's been a lot of shit being said. You could even look at the debates. And look at this. This is affecting both Donald Trump and Kamala Harris. Donald Trump's sun is 22 degrees of Gemini, so Jupiter is stationing right here on his sun. Kamala Harris's ascendant is 23 degrees of Gemini. And so it's sitting right there stationing on her ascendant. And when they had this election, it's no doubt, I mean, not this election, this debate, pardon me. There's no doubt that Kamala Harris won that debate. Doesn't mean she's going to win the election. Doesn't mean she's a better candidate. She won the debate. All right, we're not going to get into all of that. She won that debate. She debated Donald Trump several times and got him to talk. And like I said, I'm never going to judge anybody for their political preference ever again because I almost alienated Heather Nielsen, and I would never do that again. I have to be more considerate. But even at this debate, she didn't say anything. She just baited him and talked shit to him. She didn't speak on what was really going on with immigration. She didn't speak on what the fuck she was gonna do with the economy. She didn't. She talked shit to Donald Trump and made him look dumb and made him frustrated. She played the prosecutor. She made him expose himself as being angry and talking foolishly. But herself, she still danced around and just talked a whole bunch of shit. What's up, Tracy? We both learned what? You about to say I learned that you... what did you learn in that process? But yeah. She didn't really say anything. She was just talking. And she talked better than him. She tricked him and goaded him and outspoken. But as far as telling us why she is a better candidate, she didn't. That's the truth. But in this whole process, we've just seen that people are doing a whole bunch of talking. It doesn't even have to be true, but it's being said. And so the problem is, as Jupiter starts to slow down here in Gemini never wants to go slow. Gemini wants to do things quickly. Gemini wants to move around quickly and go from thing to thing. So when Jupiter is stationed in the way that it is, this is where shit gets mischievous and messy. This is where the shit that happens with Diddy starts to really come about. And people are lying and conveying all types of stuff about that. I shared something the other day that I knew was fake. But it was fun. They probably did find 1,000 bottles of baby oil, but that's not in the indictment. And they didn't find 784 dildos. And I shared that. I shared that the other day. And I didn't know if it was true or not. I still don't know if it's true or not, but I shared it. I have read the indictment, and I didn't see that in his indictment. Now, in the indictment, I did say that he has... I did see that he has sexually trafficked and exploited thousands of men and women. Diddy was, and this is in the indictment, Diddy was having freak-offs. This is what the exact word was called, freak-offs. Where he would have male sex workers doing sex stuff for days at a time while he fed them ketamine and exos, or ecstasy, or Molly. So he would give them ecstasy and Molly or ketamine and have them in there fucking for days at a time. Him, other people, all types of shit. And he sold and trafficked females for prostitution. But he would literally have freak-offs, is what it was said, for days at a time, where it's motherfuckers in there just fucking and sucking. Shit crazy. It said that he had forced thousands of people into labor, that he ran a criminal enterprise basically for his own pleasure. It wasn't even for profit because he made billions off that. He didn't make money off of it. He did it for pleasure. This is how crazy this motherfucker is. He did it for pleasure. Not just on sexual gratification, but just because he enjoyed doing it. Diddy is a perfect example of what happens when a Scorpio gets too much motherfucking money. They become dangerous. But yeah, he's a certified freak. Certified freak. And he was fucking, he's a fucking monster. And I'm not one to judge people, but when he did that to that woman, I would never, ever, ever, ever be behind him or defend him. Because I don't play that shit. That's one thing I don't fucking play. I've seen situations and been in situations in my life, but that's one thing I'm never going to ever think is cool. Like, for real. Anyway, but since this came out, there's just people saying anything, and there was so much, and this Jupiter's been in Gemini since then, like, people just been saying everything and anything, and people just take it as true. And so Jupiter in Gemini has been tricky, been messy, but it's been fucking stimulating, and it's been interesting. There's no doubt that this last 6 months has been interesting as fuck. When you really think about it, think back to March or February. And like so much crazy stuff has happened. And it hasn't been major, but it's just little stuff, bickering, fighting, shit, lies, playing, chaos. It's like, goddamn, this shit been crazy, bro. So, man, just think about it. Now, let's look at the fact that Jupiter right now is sextile to Chiron. This is where, hey, you're going to make some mistakes. You're going to make some mistakes, but that's just an opportunity for you to learn. This is Gemini and Aries. You just have to be willing to hold yourself accountable, and it takes a certain awareness to do such. We'll talk more about that here in a minute. But with Jupiter sextile to Chiron, hey, when you're out here living, you obviously are making some mistakes. You might have been too impulsive and said some shit when you shouldn't have said it. But there still is an opportunity in that right there for you to learn. You just have to be willing to hold yourself accountable, but that comes with a certain awareness that isn't always easy. You hear me? Now, Saturn. Saturn is retrograde at 15 degrees of Pisces. Saturn is going to be retrograde until November 15th. And so we got just about 55 days of Saturn staying retrograde. And then it'll station and sit there for a while at 12 degrees. But look, with Saturn here, this is about what you're feeling inside. It's not about what's going on externally in the world. Even if the world is fucked up and you're affected by it, it's about how you process this. Do you feel me? Life is just doing what life does. You have to find a way to process that healthily internally. And it ain't easy. People are going through it. And so it is this thing where you can have compassion for other people very readily right now, but you need to have compassion for yourself. So you got this feeling, whether it's fear, anxiety, worry, frustration, resentment, indifference. Whatever this feeling is for those people that are affected, this is a perfect opportunity for you to put it into perspective and see where it came from and see what you can do to make it better. Because you're going to get hit with these same degrees again in just a few months. Saturn is going to hit these degrees 3 times. It's already been over it once when it's stationed at 19 degrees. We've already been through all of these degrees that we're feeling now. And then Saturn is now retrograded back to 15 degrees. And we'll keep going to 12 degrees. And then when it gets to 12 degrees, it's going to station direct again and start moving forward again and go over this same stretch of degrees again. And so whatever's going on, you're going to get 3 chances to take care of it. And if you don't, you're the one tripping. You're not a victim of circumstance. You're not a victim of circumstance. Karma ain't even coming to get you. Karma is just happening. Karma don't come to get you. Karma happens. That's just what goes down. Karma is a process. You are a part of a process. What's up, Miss Sean? So give yourself the space you need to deal with things accordingly. Love is a process. Life is a process. Do you hear me? Death is a part of that process. Pain and pleasure, they go right together. That's the fact of the matter. If you love people, you're going to experience the pain of loss. You always have to consider the possibility of heartbreak. If you're living, you might die. As a matter of fact, you are going to die. And you might get sick. Some of us do. If you're paying bills, that shit can get frustrating. The more money they print, the more they're going to charge for shit. It's the fact of the matter. Human beings are always going to fight for control over resources and each other. It's a part of our carnalistic nature. So there's always going to be a struggle for dominance. So there's always going to be war. This is just the facts of life. So if you have an issue with somebody, the longer it sits there, it's just not going to go away because you never addressed it. That's why there might be some issues with people coming up now, whether it be people in our personal life or in our family. There might be some family issues and some resentment or some feelings of neglect that have to be addressed right now in order for you to move forward. And it has nothing to do with the other people. You got to get this up off of you. You got to deal with shit. This is your chance to put it into perspective and figure out what needs to be dealt with in your life. Because ignoring it, avoiding it, or trying to escape it is just going to make it worse. And that's what's caused these issues that you're having right now. You've been ignoring shit. You've been avoiding your issues. You have escapist tendencies. Yeah, I know. Yep. Now look at you. Now Uranus is at 27 degrees of Taurus. Retrograde. Retrograde until January 30th, 2025. So contrary to popular belief, when Uranus goes retrograde, things kind of calm down a little bit. They're not as chaotic as they were before. And you just have to take this opportunity for you to secure your position. That means you might not be able to find stability, but you also might be able to find a secure place that you can operate from. And now, that doesn't have to be a physical place. That can be a mindset. All right? And as you get there, take this opportunity to take inventory of where you are in your life, what you have to work with, who you are morally. And that allows you the best chance moving forward. Take stock of your values. That means asking yourself who you are now. What do you value the most? What are you willing to do to make money? Because ultimately, that's probably changed here in the last few years. So what better time than now for you to reassess things and figure out who you are and what the fuck you stand for? All right. Who the fuck you are and what the fuck you stand for. Now, That's jamming right there. Now, Uranus is sextile to Neptune and trine to Pluto. So this is just speaking to the changes that are going on in the whole world. These are the outer planets, and they're all in aspect to each other right now. Because Uranus is sextile to Neptune and trine to Pluto, while Neptune is sextile to Pluto. So there's some major changes going on in the world right now. Times are changing, actually. It's not just here in America, it's all over the world. The dynamics are shifting. The culture is very powerful. People's opinion are very powerful, but this whole thing is also very projective. There's nothing that's real. You can't trust just about anything. So that causes a certain amount of frustration. But that frustration is also the type of frustration that breeds change. See, that's what happens with Uranus sextile to Neptune and trine to Pluto, but Neptune sextile to Pluto. Is all of this stuff is creating this process of change for us collectively. This political process is going to change everything in America. Doesn't matter which candidate wins. If Kamala Harris wins, it's going to change everything. If Donald Trump wins, it's going to change everything. And even if Donald Trump wins, Donald Trump can only run 4 more years. After this, he can never run for president again. He can try to change it, but they're not going to allow him to do that. And so whatever happens, this is the last run from there. The dynamics are going to shift here in America. And that's going to change the dynamics of the world. These two different personalities. The situation with Russia and Ukraine, it has to come to some type of culmination here soon. Neither one of them have all of the resources that they had before this. You can't put Putin in a corner because that would be dangerous for the rest of the world. But you also can't allow him to act a certain type of way with Ukraine. And there's always this possibility that they kind of sort it out amongst each other. The situation with China and Taiwan, it has to be addressed. The situation in the Middle East has to be addressed. And they can't do it the same way they've always done it, which is side with Israel. You can't. Netanyahu is a war criminal. So the dynamics of everything is just shifting. The world is changing. And because of the way that technology works nowadays, they can't just get away with anything because we're privy to it all. No, I haven't gotten to the top 5 yet, AsceNdAnT show. But yeah, we're privy to it all. But everything is changing right now. It's going to be changing. And this year, what's going on right now over this next 6 or 7 months, because this is how long this is going to last, it's going to shift the dynamics of the whole world. This is the catalyst. But it's also a process. Now, speaking of this process, we're still all individuals. You can only experience the world in your own skin. And so how this process affects you depends on your perspective. See, with Capricorn and Pluto being at 29 degrees of Capricorn, that degree right there means you're either going to be so fucking frustrated and fucked up that you're going to shut down or die, or you're going to fucking use that as the inspiration you need to stay hungry, stay ambitious, and keep working. Regardless of the pain, regardless of the circumstance, regardless of the opposition, you got to keep grinding. You got to grind that shit out, because eventually there's a change that kicks in that starts up here, and that will come just around November 18th when Pluto goes back into Aquarius. See, Pluto is retrograde until October 18th. Till October 18th. But on November 18th, Pluto will actually ingress back into Aquarius. And so it's like, man, there's this frustration, there's this thing inside of us that's breeding change, this discontent, this disenchantment with things, especially with Neptune sextile to Pluto and that being Pisces and Capricorn. There's a certain disenchantment with the way that people are running things, with the way that the world is, with the way that the culture moves. And that's the type of stuff that breeds change. Now, that change is going to be simply destructive at first. It's going to seem rebellious, awkward, crazy. But sometimes you got to try something crazy if you really want things to be different. Yeah. Now, Chiron is at 22 degrees of Aries. So this is that critical degree of the Aries energy. This awareness can either make you or break you. This is the truth. You just have to be willing to hold yourself accountable for wherever the fuck you are in life. If you're not, it's going to be a conflict. See, a confrontation can either be a conflict or a confrontation. You hear me? And that can lead to a confirmation. You have to understand, you're accountable for your success, but you're also accountable for the consecration. That means the shit that you destroyed, the stuff that you've allowed, you're accountable for that. But it also means you have to be able to hold yourself accountable for your growth, for your success. That awareness allows you what you need to keep moving forward. Hey, either you got a lot of work to do and you're willing to do it, or you're so frustrated that you're fucking fighting everything like it's a battle, and that's also a possibility. Either way, there's some things in your life or with yourself that you have to confront. Period. Now, the Black Moon Lilith. This is at 9 degrees of Libra. So it's real easy to see yourself caught up in appearances. You can see yourself being too tolerant. So tolerant that you're way too easily influenced by other people's opinion. You could also see yourself being too conciliatory. Now you're frustrated because this didn't work out in your favor, but you never stated what the fuck you really want. See, some people forget that. You mad because this situation didn't turn out the way that you wanted it to, but you never stated how you wanted it to go, and you never put in an effort to make it do such. This is also where your indecisiveness can bite you in the ass. You don't want to make a decision? Okay, I'll make it for you. Fuck you. This is where you got to be careful. People are going to be fence riding, two-faced it, superficial. Not me, I'm super official, like a motherfucking referee's whistle. Yeah. I like that. Anyway, yeah, that's the Black Moon Lilith. And the Black Moon Lilith is still loosely conjunct to the South Node in Libra. And so it's almost natural to be so worried about everybody else and what they're doing and what their opinion is of what you're doing. And that right there can make people dishonest. Sometimes you could be so nice and so worried about what other people have going on that it makes you fucking fake. Nah, man, you just got to do what's right for you, regardless of what anybody else feels about it. See, that's the North Node in Aries. We have just a couple of more months of the North Node being in Aries. And then the North Node is going to go into Pisces. And it's almost a reset. People don't look at it like that. But the nodes move backwards. So as this goes back in, this is the end, the culmination. When it gets into Pisces, that's when it's starting over. In Vedic astrology, Ashwini Nakshatra is the first. When it goes through the nodes, it's the last. Like my North Node is in Ashwini. So it is, some of the Vedic astrologers believe that this is probably one of, if not my last incarnations here on this plane. You feel me? And I'm a Pisces moon in Western, so that does make sense with other philosophies that go along with that. But either way, with this right here, it's just like nobody's gonna stand up for you if you don't. That doesn't mean you have to be fighting for everything and with everybody, but it does mean that you have to stand for something or you're gonna fall for anything. See, the North Node in Aries is saying, hey, do what's right for you. And that shouldn't harm anybody else because they should be doing what's right for them. But some people are so caught up in those people-pleasing tendencies that they're dishonest. They're complicating their own situation when all they got to do is just keep it real, keep it 1,000. I don't think you heard me though. Keep it real, keep it 1,000. This is the time to buy and sell. Don't get caught up browsing. Now, that's all I have to say about the transits. Let's look at the numerology of the day. Because the numerology of the day is actually speaking to the nodal axis. See, we're in a 1 vibration today. And you ask how we get to that? It is September 20th, 2024. So September is a 9. It's the 9th month. You take that 9, you drop it down. There's no need to simplify it any further. It's the 20th. 2 plus 0 is 2. You take that 2, you drop it down. There's no need to simplify that any further. Then 2024. Well, 2 plus 2 is 4 plus 4 is 8. So that's an 8. You drop that down. And so you have 9 plus 2 plus 8, which is 19. 1 plus 9. What's that? That's 10. 1 plus 0 is what? 1. Now there is a karmic debt 19 involved in this. As soon as you see that 19, that's when you notice, okay, today's about self-development, self-actualization. And that's the best thing you can do for your relationships because there is a 2 connotation to the date. It's the 20th. And so you being honest, being straight up, as much as it might cause a conflict and you standing up for yourself, this is also going to make your relationships more simple. Now, with the karmic debt 19 in the mix of this, you do have to be careful not to abuse your power. That means don't run over other people. All right. Don't get too selfish or self-centered. That might not be the most helpful. Now, that's all I got to say about that. I think it's just about that time to get into the PrIcElEs top 5 easiest rising signs to live with in astrology. Now, just to clarify, this does not mean these are the best rising signs because there's no such thing. These are the easiest to live with, both as the native and in relation with them. All right. And you do have to live with the rising sign. It's not like the sun sign where you're expressing with it because the rising sign sets the place for everything in the chart. It's the ascendant point in the chart. Your rising sign being whatever it is what makes your houses appear the way that they do in your chart. And it shows which sign rules which house for you. And so it pretty much sets the table. And so that kind of shows you how certain areas of your life are going to play out. You feel me? And so, get into it.
This is crazy.
And just so we know, I do not have any honorable mentions because there can only be 12 rising signs. So I don't want to do half and half because people are going to think, well, these are the 6 best or these are the 6 worst. No, this is the top 5 easiest to live with. All right. So hold up. Let's get into number 5. The number 5 of the PrIcElEs top 5 easiest rising signs to live with. This is Cancer ascendant. And this might surprise you. But here's the thing. When somebody has Cancer rising, that gives them this sense of strength that is indomitable. All right. And I will also say they are very sensitive. As a matter of fact, they're so sensitive that they're going to try to hide that in relationships because they don't want to get hurt. Thus, that Capricorn on the descendant. And that's the only issue with this. All right. But I can also say that right there also makes them only get involved with the right type of people. They're not going to wait or just jump into something with anybody. They're going to wait until they can get into something that's actually healthy for them or something that's going to be mutually beneficial for both people involved. All right. Understand, once you get that rising sign, you're going to need to look at the houses here because that puts things into perspective. It means their second house is usually ruled by Leo. So they have a lot of self-confidence and they have a lot of creativity, and that can play out for them in a multitude of ways. Matter of fact, it won't just play out, it'll pay out. All right. Virgo in the 3rd house, it makes them incredibly sharp mentally. They might talk a lot of shit, but they are very intelligent. Libra in the 4th house. I mean, just look at that whole axis of Libra being in the 4th and Aries being in the 10th. So both their home life and their parental home and their careers, that's all been blessed to a certain degree. You know, because Libra on that 4th house cusp usually points to that they had at least the appearance of a peaceful home. It could mean that their parents were still in a relationship. It doesn't always mean that, but it can mean that. It doesn't mean that both of their biological parents are together, but they witnessed that they're being in a relationship most of the time in their parental home. All right. And then Aries on the 10th house, or Aries on that midheaven. Now, not all Cancer risings are going to have Aries midheavens, because in the Placidus system, there's things that can play out a different way. There are such things as interceptions, and some houses are just not, you know, built the same as other houses, as in real life. That's why I love the Placidus system. Oh, Gay Birdman, you just ain't been here, have you? Before I go any further, the one place I shine is as a dad. A deadbeat? Never that. I'm working. This is work. I get paid for this. And I'm smoking, so it's not appropriate for a child to be in here while I am smoking. If you knew anything about parenting whatsoever, and I did not say what the fuck, I said, what do you need? First of all. And he's not supposed to come in here while I am in here because I am smoking. He did not want some father-son time. Shut up. Anyway, back to this. Cancer, with Cancer ascendant, they've probably witnessed their mom or their parents at least being in a relationship. And they also have a certain amount of ambition with Aries usually ruling that 10th house. I'll show you somebody. It's not just because of athletics. Michael Jordan is a Cancer rising. He's an Aquarius sun, Cancer rising. Now, he actually is a Pisces midheaven, but he does have Cancer in that 10th house. And so when you look at that and you just put that into perspective, this is a man that strives to be the best. People with Cancer rising, there are certain things that play out in their chart to the effect that it really is helpful to them. Now, I will say this, Scorpio being on that 5th house can make them a little freaky. But Sagittarius in the 6th house makes him an easy person to get along with. With Sagittarius ruling that 6th house, they know how to make things easy. They look at the big picture and the details, and they have a really awesome perspective. And they also know how to keep a positive outlook on things on the day-to-day. So that's incredibly helpful. Capricorn in the 7th house, yeah, that can be some issues because they have a hard time being vulnerable and being sensitive. But I can also say it means they take their time in their relationships very seriously. And so they're not trying to waste their time with anybody. And they don't want anybody wasting their time. So they're not going to jump into anything. They want their relationships to be something that's going to grow and evolve over time. They want it to last. And so that's beautiful. With Aquarius on the 8th house, it can make them freaky as fuck. I'm talking about kinky, not just freaky, kinky. Oh, you kinky. And they go through a lot of intense changes in their life, like some really crazy changes. Now, when it comes to them having Pisces on the 9th house, they have a lot of faith. That's the faith that comes along with it. When it comes to Taurus in the 11th house, that's money. You see how that plays out? That's money. They get money. The 11th house is the house of gains. Taurus actually represents finance in its own right. So they get some money. They be having some money. And then with Gemini in the 12th house, they have all these feelings, but that's not what you got to worry about. They can be mentally disturbed. That's the problem. That's one of the problems, and that's why they're only number 5 on the list of the PrIcElEs top 5 easiest ascendant signs in astrology. Hit the like button if you haven't hit the like button yet. Hit the fucking super sticker, the super thanks, or the super chat. Hit that fucking Cash App. I'm trying to raise some funds. Hit the super sticker, the super thanks, or the super chat because I have a quota. I need to be able to get paid by YouTube, and I haven't hit my quota for the month, and it's getting late into the month. And I'm giving you something priceless. All right. Just a second, I gotta scream. Hey! Somebody's phone's in here. Sorry.
What's wrong?
So somebody's phone's in that bathroom. I don't know whose it is, but somebody's phone is definitely in there.
Oh no, that's my watch.
Well, your watch is in here ringing. This dog keeps sneaking in here and doing his thing. That's crazy.
What's that damn shit? Ain't nobody calling me.
But yeah, all of that is why Cancer rising is number 5. Now let's get into number 4. Numero 4. Number 4 on the list of the PrIcElEs top 5 easiest ascendant signs to live with in astrology. Thank you, Ice and Snow Show. That's initiative. Anybody want to guess what number 4 is? Well, anyway, number 4 on the list of the PrIcElEs top 5 easiest rising signs to live with in astrology. This is Taurus ascendant. And so, here's the thing with Taurus ascendant. These people are usually calm, cool, collective, maybe even conservative. All right. But they have this quiet confidence that really resonates. And they know how to take their time and make the most out of every moment or any moment. And with Leo on their IC, that probably meant that their family life was warm or fun. That's the 4th house cusp. But let me let you know that Scorpio on the 7th house cusp, that can make their relationship situation toxic. It can be sexy and passionate, but that shit can be toxic. So that's why they're only number 4. But when you just want to look at how their houses are set up, they have Taurus there in that 1st house. So their sense of self-worth is really awesome. It means they're not going to ever sacrifice that bottom line. They're not usually going to put themselves in danger or in a situation where they're going to be at odds with that situation. With Gemini on the 2nd house, that means they have a variety of skills. They have a variety of skills and ways that they can make money, and they will. With Cancer on the 3rd house, I would just say that family. For them, their family, they learn so much from their family. And with Leo on the 4th house, that could mean, like I said earlier, like they had a warm home. It's fixed, so there is a certain amount of stability there. But I can also say they might have been their favorite person in their home. Or it just means one of their parents had Leo placements. It can mean a lot of things. And when Virgo is on that 5th house, that can make them really awesomely creative. They actually enjoy the work. That's why they have this self-worth. They also actually enjoy being useful. So that makes them very easy to live with as a person that's involved with them. They're there and they're consistent, but I can also say they enjoy that. That's something that they thoroughly enjoy doing. That's a lot of what makes them special, is their consistency. All right. Let's say when you look at the 6th house, that's Libra on the 6th house. And with Libra on their 6th house, they know how to get along with the people that they work with. And more than anything else, they're the type of people who, I'm trying to think of the word I'm looking for, who really help other people. They're a service to others. They care about other people. Just a second. Chief, you better not growl again. You better get your Capricorn ass in there with your mama. Now, why you want to sit up under me when I'm working and then get mad at every sound you hear? Go to sleep. But yeah, they're fairly diplomatic. They care about other people. They listen. They're great listeners, and that helps them help people in ways that other people can't. But like I said, that Scorpio in the 7th house, it can make them have really intensely sexual relationships. They can have great sex, but they can also have some toxic shit going on, because sometimes their relationships are centered around that toxicity or that attachment. And it can make them crazy. That's the only time they're unstable, is when they're involved with other people sometimes, and they're intimately involved. Once sex is involved, it complicates things for them because they really enjoy it. They really like it. It's really, With Sagittarius in the 8th house, they have a spiritual awakening during their life. They're the type of people at some point that they learn things from experience. And some of those are hard lessons learned because they are hard-headed, but a lot of the times that allows them to develop the wisdom they need that people can come to them for at some point. And then when it comes to their 10th house, that's Capricorn, right? No. Am I getting that right? Did I skip one? No, 7th? It's easy to get confused when you're doing all those houses. 7th is Scorpio. 8th is Sagittarius. 9th is Capricorn. We didn't do the 9th. And so, on the 9th house, this is Capricorn. And so, I would just say for them, they're the type of people who they want to learn on their own. And through those experiences, it's developed a certain toughness in them. They're like a good piece of leather. They're well put together. All right. You know, this makes me think of that song. I ain't gonna sing the lyrics, but when Justin Timberlake, whoever it was, maybe it's All for One. I don't know who sings that song, but he said, God must have spent a little more time on you. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to sing my real singing voice because y'all might be like, oh my God, he should be doing R&B. Shut up, motherfucker. But, yeah. And I'll say with Capricorn in the 9th house, they might end up working somewhere far and getting paid a lot for it. They're very administrative in the way that they handle their business. They're super official. And then with Aquarius on the 10th house, they care about freedom. They value that freedom to a certain degree. So they're willing to sacrifice certain other allowances if they get a lot of freedom in their job. All right. They really, really, really value and aspire to be free of responsibilities. They want to do it because they want to do it. And with Pisces on the 11th house, let's just say this, that the people that they connect with as far as their friends, like that, they have really strong spiritual connections with them. They get along together because they have a connection with those people spiritually. It's not because it's looking to be mutually beneficial. It's like they really have a connection. They really care for each other. It's almost unconditional. Like, I fuck with you the long way, whether you're right or wrong. And they're those type of people that, like I said, that's how solid they are. You have to think about that. There's so many people in the world that get off like that. It's like, I'm with you whether you're right or wrong. Yeah, I might get onto you when it's all said and done, but I'm riding with you whether you're right or wrong. And that's what it means to have somebody solid in your corner. And some of us have never experienced that. But that's what it means with them being somebody solid in somebody's corner. But Aries is in the 12th house. So their anger can get the best of them sometimes. And when they move deliberately, they're fine. But when they move impulsively, it fucks them up. So they've learned how to move deliberately. And so all of that is why Taurus ascendant is number 4 on the list of the PrIcElEs top 5 easiest ascendant signs to live with. If you haven't hit that like button, hit the like button right fucking now. Hit the super sticker, the super thanks, the super chat, or the motherfucking CashApp. Alright? It's the least you can do. Hold up. I see some bullshit. And then, that brings us to number 3. Number 3 on the list of the PrIcElEs top 5 easiest ascendant signs to live with in astrology. This is Aquarius ascendant. And here's the thing about having Aquarius rising. This means that these people want to be free to be whoever they are, no matter how peculiar that may be. Alright? So, the thing is, their only problem is with their self-image. Because with Leo on the descendant, their relationships are going to be very loyal, very affectionate, even if they are a touch dramatic. All right. And with Scorpio ruling the 10th, they're going to succeed at any cost. They're meant to be empowered. Like, for real. They're going to succeed even if it kills them. And with Taurus on the IC, that could mean a beautiful family, or at least a safe environment that they came from. They might even came from some money. And see, some of us don't realize that money actually gives people the chance to be whoever the fuck they want to be. Some of us never have had that luxury. When you come from money and you come from a certain background, or if you just come from a background that instilled a certain set of values in you, then it gives you the security you need to be secure in your own skin and be whoever the fuck you want to be, even if it's not accepted by everybody. Now, the problem is with Aquarius rising and why they're only number 3 is they get so caught up in other people. They forget how special they are. These are incredibly unique individuals, but they get so caught up in other people that they forget how fucking crazy their contribution to life and society is. We need you. We need you to be the catalyst. We need you to be that spark plug in our life. We need you to show us it's okay to be different. And a lot of the times they just get so caught up in other people because they're proud of the people they're involved in. Like with Aquarius rising, they have Pisces on the 2nd house. All right. And with Pisces on the 2nd house, for them, they just need a little bit of faith, but they have so much creative abilities that they're able to manifest the lifestyle that they want. They just have to understand that they can do that. Like, for real. Now, their situation can always kind of seem complex or even confusing, but it's not for you to understand as long as they have what they need. See, that's the thing with Pisces on the 2nd house, and that's beautiful. If they ain't worried about it, why are you worried about it? They got it. But it could also involve some complex arrangements, too. With Aries on the 3rd house, that's where it's interesting because they might fight a lot with their brothers and sisters. So this is another reason why this is only number 3. They might get into it a lot, or they might be only children. That's why they're so different from other people. This could play out both ways. They can either be the oldest or the most active, or they could just have a conflicted relationship with their brothers and sisters, or they could be only children. And when somebody's an only child, it does condition them a certain way in life. Y'all say what's up to Remy Reigns, tribal council for the longest, and ain't never did anything but support me. So I love you, Remy. But yeah, Aquarius rising and them having Aries on the 3rd house, it also means they're honest. They say what the fuck they mean. And there's something awesome about that. They learned how to be themselves growing up. And they also know how to go it alone if they need to. Now, with Taurus on the 4th house, like I said, that means that they had at least a stable home growing up. It could also mean they came from money, but it points to a certain amount of nourishment and a certain amount of stability no matter what. And that can help anybody. And then when it comes to their 5th house, right? That's Gemini. So they're fucking creative than a motherfucker. They're fun than a motherfucker. They might even be childish sometimes. But they enjoy other people's company. Other people enjoy their company. They love talking. They're excellent writers, creatively. They are dynamic speakers. Like I said, there's Gemini on the 5th house, so they like and enjoy conversation. And Aries on the 3rd house, so they say whatever the fuck they want to say. So they can be great comedically also. But more than anything else, they're playful and they have this childlike or simple quality to them that is fucking refreshing. Now, sometimes it can be messy. And I'm going to be honest. Gemini is on the 5th house, so they can have some hoish tendencies. There might be some promiscuity in the mix. But that's all right. They'll find who they want. Through all that socializing and fraternizing, they actually get what they want. And they actually develop something that they're incredibly proud of. And we'll get to that here in a second. But you also have to look at Cancer on the 6th house. So when it comes to the people they work with, they're like family to them. Now, with their health, I would say that they just have to make sure that they're not stressing themselves out. You know, it's real easy for your digestive system to get fucked up with Cancer on the 6th house because you're so emotional about situations. It's also really easy for you to let your day get off track because you got in your feelings about something. But I can also see people see that they genuinely care about doing their job. They genuinely care about being consistent. They genuinely care about other people too. And so when somebody genuinely cares and they're also nurturing and helpful, that really, really goes a long way with people wanting to work with them despite whatever differences that they may have. All right. And then with the 7th house being in Leo, that means they are, in their relationships, they are affectionate. They might be detached from life, but they're affectionate with the people that they're involved with personally, and they care. And they pour out love with this noblesse oblige attitude and outlook that is awesome. They're very generous. And if they do decide that they're going to be in a relationship with you, they're going to be very proud because they feel like they have good taste. But they also need a certain amount of attention themselves. They want to be with somebody who realizes how different from everybody else they are. And so that's beautiful for their relationships. In their 8th house, that's Virgo. So they're the freak that you need. Not the freak you want. They're the freak you need because they're going to serve you. They're going to do it exactly how you like it every time. When it comes to Virgo being on that 8th house, these are technicians sexually. But I can also say that they got to be careful because it's their health that can come back to bite them in the ass when it comes to their life. Cancer's on the 6th house. They have Virgo on the 8th house. They have to be careful because it could be their health that ends up what does them in. It's not murder. It's not this. It's because they didn't take care of themselves the right way. And there's a lot of ways you can do that. Being an emotional eater is something that can also go with that 6th house, having that Cancer and influence. But with Virgo here on the 8th house, it really is helpful to each one of these individuals. Because if they can get their habits right, they can also, but they're also very helpful in a crisis. They're somebody who's going to be there for you when you need them. You hear me? They might not always be what you want, but when you need something, they're there. When nobody else is. Now, the 9th house is Libra. And so that can mean that they actually have pleasant interactions. That can mean they could be a diplomat in a certain way, form, or fashion between several different communities or several different countries even at some point. It can mean that they really can see the big picture because they look at things objectively. And so they're not fucked up about the stuff that happens to them in life. And that's what makes them really easy to deal with and to live with. Is because if something happens, they don't feel like they're the victim in a situation. They look at it objectively, and they're more or less like, oh, this is the big picture. This is why this is happening, and this is what I can do about it. Or this is what was to be learned from that. All right. And then you look at the 10th house. And the 10th house is Scorpio. So, man, like I said, they're going to succeed even if it kills them. They're relentless in their approach. And they're powerful people. They have a lot of charisma. People see them as being powerful. But there also can be a lot of hate. Like, people don't understand them, so they hate on them. So that 10th house can be an issue in certain aspects because motherfuckers just, they hate what they can't understand or what they can't control. And so that's something that you really need to look at and assess on your own. Now, with the 11th house, that's Sagittarius. So there's blessings. How much money they make is blessed. There's a certain amount of abundance that comes with how much money they can make. Doesn't mean that's the money they have, but there is a certain amount of abundance. They are very generous. Don't get that twisted. Hold on. I love when this does this. They are very generous. Now, next. Next is the 12th house. And their 12th house is Capricorn. And so with Capricorn being in the 12th house, they can get depressed. They can get stressed. They can overwork themselves. You hear me? And sometimes they can have problems with trust or control. They feel like people are trying to control them. And it makes them act out. Makes them want to rebel. They hate feeling like anybody's trying to control them. And I mean, can you blame them? Can you blame them? I don't think so. Now, all of that is why Aquarius ascendant is number 3. Do you care to get to number 2? Number 2 on the list of the PrIcElEs. Top 5 easiest ascendants to live with in astrology. This is Sagittarius ascendant. And look, this is Sagittarius. So not only is there a certain amount of luck that comes with this one, but these people typically have a pretty optimistic outlook on life that just makes things easier for them. Matter of fact, it makes it really easy, sometimes too easy, because that means they're always looking for a shortcut. But they got to be careful with those shortcuts, because always taking a shortcut can mean you have to start over and over and over again with nothing to show for your efforts. You hear me? But either way, they look at everything. I'm talking about everything as a learning experience. Even relationships. Even relationships. So if something doesn't work out, hey, that shit was a learning experience. That shit was fun while it lasted. They're the type of people that say that type of shit. That shit was fun while it lasted. And I would say with Gemini on the descendant, they want to learn from their relationships. But people have to remember, they're not loyal to people. They're loyal to principles. They can love your ass, but that doesn't mean they're loyal to you. If they're not fucking around on you, it's because they don't fuck around and they've decided that they're not that type of person. See, this is a person of principle. And it takes a while for them to develop that. But it's just like, hey, I'm not that type of motherfucker. I'm not going to do you like that because I'm not like that. It's not because they love you so much that they won't do you like that. It's because if I love someone, I'm not like that. All right. But with Gemini on the descendant, their relationships can be a little messy. And with Pisces on the IC, their home life can be complex. They could have lost one of their parents, or one of their parents could have been on drugs, or there was not a lot of attention that was going on in their household growing up. Or there was some lies. Or they could have been raised in foster care, or by relatives that weren't their direct parents, or they could have had step parents. With Pisces on the IC, they have a connection with their family. There's an unconditional love that they also experienced. But for you to really experience unconditional love, that means you have to go through some shit. See, people can never understand the concept of unconditional love unless they've had that challenged. The only way to know if you love somebody unconditionally is for your heart to get broken or for somebody to hurt you and for you to be able to keep loving them throughout that process. And so when you see Pisces on the IC, they learned a lot about unconditional love because the conditions of their household growing up might not have been ideal. And that can mean a lot of different things. It doesn't just mean that one of their parents was on drugs or both of their parents was on drugs or one of them was dead, but it can. It could just mean that their whole environment was confusing, or they got a confusing experience from it all because they don't really know what to make of it. So that's the reason why they're only number 2. But when you look at Sagittarius ascendant, Sagittarius is the first house. So they themselves are positive and optimistic people. A lot of the times, as much as people want to say, oh, this means they have a big ass or they have long legs, and I've seen that, but my sister don't have a big ass or long legs. She got a horse face. Some of them have a horse face. But some of them also just have a smile that just won't quit. That's how you know they're Sagittarius rising, because they're smiling all the fucking time. They're the type of people you have to ask, what the fuck are you so happy about? Shut up. And it's just because they're not fucked up about it. They're not fucked up about life. Now, with Capricorn on the second house, they work hard and they're going to get paid. Don't get it twisted. They work hard and they expect results. See, some people want certificates of achievement. Some people want status. No, they want money. I put the work in, motherfucker. Pay me accordingly. And if you will pay them like they're appreciated, they're going to put the effort in that nobody else can. They have a certain amount of stamina that's unfuckwithable. Now, they have Aquarius on the third house, so a lot of them are ingenious. They have open minds, and they're ingenious. They might have been a little different from everybody else that they knew growing up, but they, like, man, they're fucking ingenious in their own way. Their mind works a little differently. They can be off and quirky, but they also understand things in a way that a lot of people can't, and their open-mindedness makes them inventive and creative. They're intuitive also. They're fucking awesome. And then, what else? Like we just said, in the fourth house, that's Pisces. And we kind of just talked about that already. It can mean a lot of different things. In the fifth house, that's Aries. So they do what the fuck they want to do whenever they want to do it. And they might make some mistakes. They might be impulsive, but they enjoy that shit. Don't get it twisted. Sagittarius rising can be savage, impulsive, primal, but they have a lot more fun than other people because they're willing to make mistakes. They're willing to just do it. They're willing to just try some shit and just do some shit. They want to just try some shit. There's a little bit of a gambler or a daredevil in there. Now, they, at some times in their life, can be impulsive sexually, to say the least. When people say, oh, Scorpio is the most sexual sign, I laugh at them. Scorpio might be representative of sex, but don't ever forget that Aries exists, motherfucker. Aries is probably the most sexual sign. And so with Aries on that fifth house, like, they like fucking. They might like fighting too. They might like sports, period. There might be some sport, a certain amount of sport to them, but they're the type of people who will try some shit. And so they end up having fun in a way that some people can't. They get to experience stuff that some people will never experience because they were willing to try. They were willing to go. Motherfucker, I'm not doing that. Motherfucker, I'm not trying that. They will. They fucking will. Now look at you wondering while they're having the time of their fucking life and actually experiencing things. They might even want to experience you. Yeah, I know it. Yes, build your channel. And you can always share content for mine. And then you look at their 6th house, right? Taurus is on their 6th house. So they're only going to be fucked up if they overindulge. They eat too much. They go too hard. They get gluttonous. But I can also say they're going to work hard. They're going to get paid. That's the same thing as, it's not the same thing, but it's very reflective of that Capricorn on the 2nd house. With Taurus, they go to work, they show up, and they're going to get paid. My sister's a Sagittarius rising. And she doesn't always have the same job, but she always works. She works hard, and she's never broke because she works. But she also enjoys a good time, so much that it can be detrimental to her health. So much that it can be detrimental to her health because she goes hard. You know what I'm saying? When she's getting high, she's getting high. She's getting fucked up, and she really enjoys that shit. But I can also say laziness as far as with their habits, not with their work ethic, because this is still Earth, but with their habits. That right there can make them a poor employee sometimes. But I will say they show up and they take their time and they do things right. I'll tell y'all this. Well, this comes from her Virgo moon too, but my sister is a Sagittarius rising. And I was talking to my stepmom not too long ago, and I was like, what are you doing? She's like, I'm waiting for your sister to get over here. And I haven't talked to my sister in a year. She has me blocked because we got into it. But she said, your sister's on her way over here. She's like, she's coming over here to clean my house. And she was like, I have a worker, but I would rather pay your sister because she does it like I want to do it. She takes her time and she enjoys it and she does it like I want it done. And so that a lot of people say, well, that's her Virgo moon. No, that's that Taurus in the 6th house. She values a job well done. You hear me? Now, when it comes to the 7th house with Sagittarius ascendant, that's where it gets messy. That Gemini is on the descendant. So they do learn a lot from their relationships, but sometimes it feels like they don't take their relationships as seriously as a lot of people do. Or that they have, you know, several different tastes that they're trying to incorporate at the same time. Or it can mean that they just look at everything, including their relationships, like a learning experience. So if something doesn't work out, they're willing to move on to the next thing. And that's a matter of principle. Hey, this is fucking not working. I'm going to move the fuck on. And some people don't have that power. They're caught in a relationship where they're not happy or where they're fucked up. But a lot of these people develop a principle like, man, I'm not enjoying this, so I'm going to move the fuck on. It's not fun anymore. All right. And I would also say that their shit can be messy, though. They can have some messiness in their relationships because they are fickle. It's not because of their partners, it's because of them. So I see you, Heather. Don't try to clean it up now, but I see you. Now, let's look at the 8th house. That's Cancer. So they're passionate, they're emotional. That's a great house for Cancer to be in, is in the 8th house. Because they have family support when they really need it. But I would also say that they could get an inheritance from their family. I could also say that they have these really deep emotions that come from inside of them that stick to them like mud. So all those experiences that they have with this Sagittarius rising, it's like they're gathering them and they're just burying them deep inside of them, and they're collecting memories. Now, when you look at their 9th house, this is Leo. So they're proud of their beliefs. They're proud of their beliefs. Don't get it twisted. And they're proud of their experiences. They're proud of their wisdom. They're proud of their mindset. They can make great teachers because they're proud of their students. They're proud of their knowledge. And there's so much more that goes to that. But yeah. And people see them as being special. They have a divine light. that really shines on them. Now, their 10th house, that's Virgo. So they are hard workers. They're people who can be the type of person who's irreplaceable on a job. Like, no, nobody can do it better than them, and nobody's going to do it better than them. Nobody's going to work harder. And so they make themselves irreplaceable. They are incredibly productive. Don't ever get that twisted. And they care about doing the right thing. That's Virgo on the 10th house. They really care about doing the right thing. Now, consistency is important to them because they might not have experienced that growing up, so they want to make sure that they have that as they grow and mature. Now, when it comes to the 11th house, that's Libra. So they have friends, and with their friends, they have personal relationships with all of their friends. Even if they have a group that they hang out with, they have a personal bond with each person that they fuck around with. And they're very sociable people. They love to socialize. And they would make a lot of money if they could work in a partnership with somebody. And, yeah. Then with the 12th house, their 12th house is Scorpio. So they can be a little crazy inside. They have toxic feelings deep inside of them. They can get stuck inside of themselves sometimes because they don't know what to make of everything that they've been through. There might be some type of experience that they're trying to get away from. They can be obsessive too. They want to do something so bad that they can't stop thinking about it. And that can be a problem because that develops into compulsivity. Hit the fucking like button if you haven't hit the like button yet. Hit the super sticker, the super thanks, or the super chat. Let me know you really fuck with me. We've been here for almost 3 hours, and this has been an amazing session. Just fine. Yeah. When it rains. Now, let's get into number one. Can anybody guess what number one is? Because I've already said what all the other ones are. What do y'all want to guess number one is? In the list of the PrIcElEs, top 5 easiest ascendant signs to live with in astrology. I guess y'all wouldn't expect this. Number one on the list of the PrIcElEs top 5 easiest ascendant signs to live with. It's not Libra. It's not Virgo. It's Aries ascendant. You want to know why? It's because there's something powerfully honest about every house being ruled by its natural sign. That just simplifies things, and it eliminates that need for pretense. So these people are incredibly self-aware, and they're action-oriented in their approach to life, and they're honest. They're fucking honest. And yeah, they can be selfish, self-centered, impulsive, and impatient, but they're also real. And everything is where it's supposed to be in most of their charts. Aries is in the first house, Taurus is in the second house, Gemini is in the third house, Cancer is in the fourth house, Leo's in the fifth house, Virgo's in the sixth house, Libra's in the seventh house. Scorpio's in the 8th house. Sagittarius is in the 9th. Capricorn is in the 10th. Aquarius is in the 11th. Pisces is in the 12th. You hear me? They can be impatient and impulsive, but for them, they're easy to deal with and easy to live with. Their relationships are always awesome. They might be a sucker for a pretty face, but they're so honest that their relationships have a certain amount of wherewithal to them that some relationships won't. I'm not saying it's the best. I'm saying it's the easiest. Y'all, it's funny. I called my lady to prove a fact earlier. Even though she cussed me out, I knew she was, because I know what to expect from her, because she's not dishonest about who she is. Me, I'm a Libra rising. It's different. All of my houses are opposite. You don't know what reaction you're going to get from me. I might be really polite and nice, or you might get that Aries 7th house side of me, where I done pissed you off. Or I let you piss me off. You might get that Capricorn 4th house, where because of the way I was raised, I have a certain hardness to me, or a certain obstinance. Not abstinence, obstinance. You feel me? Aries rising has everything in the house it's supposed to be in. And so that does make their chart a lot more simple than other people's. Taurus is exactly where it needs to be. Gemini is exactly where it needs to be. They talk when they need to talk. They move when they need to move. They earn when they need to earn. They spend when they need to spend. They work when they need to work. They love where they need to love. They fuck where they need to fuck. You dig? Aries rising is number 1. Cherie said I should do the most difficult next. I will for you. Speaking of which, I ain't even trying to point you out there in front of everybody, but is you ready for your Pluto reading? Or is you ready for your Pluto reading? I got to pay for car repairs, and I'm about $300 short, just to be honest. And I've spent, it was supposed to be $4,000, but our warranty is going to cover most of it. So I've already paid $600 with getting it towed and getting it initially looked at, and then there's going to be another $1,000, but I'm missing like $250 or $300 from that. So I'm trying to make some motherfucking money, just to put it into perspective, because I'm an honest person. But yeah, I got to do something. So if any of y'all want some services, I need to sell about 3 readings today, then I'll be good. But we haven't had a car for like 2 weeks. And paying for the Ubers and the Lyfts is getting incredibly disgusting. And it's homecoming tonight, and I can't even go to my son's game. And there's nothing that'll fix it by tonight. But yeah, it's my son's first game back. He's been suspended for 3 weeks since the beginning of the season because he failed a class last year. And that doesn't even make sense. Like, what does last year have to do with this year? These schools be pissing me off. Like, he failed a class last year at the end of the year. And so when he went through football camp all summer, and when it got time to play a game, the coach came and told him, "Hey, bro, you failed a class last year, and so you have to sit out the first 3 weeks of the season." And so I called him and tried to argue with him. I called the athletic director of the school. I tried to argue with them, and they weren't trying to hear it. They said that's their policy. And so my son has had to miss the first 3 games. We went to the first game even though he wasn't playing, but we got frustrated. Like, we don't like to go if we ain't seeing our baby. But now it's his first game back. It's homecoming. And we can't even go because our car's fucked up. And so I cannot miss that. I cannot miss that. Again. Next week we should be back, but I got to make this money by next week. Anyway, let's do a quick rundown before we go, because we only got 15 minutes left, and then I got to go. And we'll be back probably on Monday. I have to do an interview with Kier Johnson on Monday. I'm looking forward to doing that. But after that, I should be able to come live. But I won't be here Tuesday. I have a consultation to do with Asia. But I'll definitely be here Wednesday. Might be here Thursday. Definitely be here Friday. Yeah, I don't know. This shit is crazy. They do shit that we didn't have to do when we were kids. Like when we were kids, our school paid for all our equipment. And maybe they do that just in Texas. But here where I stay now, in this state where I'm in now, like you have to pay for your kids to play football for the school. And that shit pisses me off. Like it costs over $1,000 basically. $600 for uniforms and equipment. But then there's other stuff that you have to pay for as far as camps and all that for your kid to play football for the school district. When I was growing up, you never had to pay money to pay for the fucking school district. The school district paid for that. And so, yeah, that shit is fucking frustrating, man. Now, let's do a quick rundown of the top 5 real fast, all right? So, number 5 on the list of the PrIcElEs top 5 easiest ascendant signs to live with was Cancer ascendant. And that's because that gives people a certain sense of strength that's indomitable, but they're also so sensitive. As a matter of fact, they're sensitive to the effect that they try to hide that sensitivity in a relationship because they don't want to get hurt. And so they're very, very slow to really connect with somebody. But when they do, they want it to be lifelong. And they don't want to just fuck around. They want to be married. There is a certain amount of traditions that come with Cancer rising. And with Libra in the 4th house and Aries on the 10th house, both their home life or their parental home and their careers are being blessed to a certain degree, because that could point to a peaceful home, but an active career. And so that can really help them flourish and really help them get the most out of their leadership potential. So Cancer rising was number 5. Number 4 on the list of the PrIcElEs top 5 easiest ascendant signs to live with was Taurus ascendant. And that's because they're typically calm, cool, collective, maybe even conservative, all right? And they just have this quiet confidence that really resonates. And they know how to make the most out of every moment, every situation. And with Leo on their IC, their family life was probably warm and stable to a certain degree, or they had some favoritism that was pointed their way. However, with Scorpio ruling that 7th house, that can make their relationships a little bit toxic. Even if it's sexy, it can be a little toxic and obsessive. Once they get that thing put on them, it makes them a little crazy. You know what she's saying? You know, I like to get a little crazy. Yeah, they can get a little crazy. They be calm, cool, and collective till somebody puts that dick or that other thing on them. And then they don't know how to act. Like, motherfucker, I thought you was cool. Now your ass is fucking obsessed and stalking me. Like, what the fuck? They gonna make the most out of it, though. Hit the like button if you haven't hit the like button. I just seen somebody take a like back. Don't piss me off. That just pissed me smooth the fuck off. I seen a like pop up and somebody took a like back. Don't do that to yourself, Beans. Yeah, give it back before I get mad. Now, number 3 on the list of the PrIcElEs top 5 easiest ascendant signs to live with. Number 3 on the list of the PrIcElEs. Damn. This is Aquarius ascendant. And that's because these people just want to be free to be whoever they are, no matter how peculiar that is. You hear me? And that means their only problem is with their own self-image, really. When you look at their chart, everything plays out beautifully. And even with Leo on their descendant, that means their relationships are especially blessed. That's something to be proud of in their life. They have great taste. But they also want a certain amount of affection and attention in their relationships, because they're going to really reward you if you give them that. Make them feel special. And they know how to make you feel special. So that's very beautiful. Scorpio ruling their 10th house means they're fucking ambitious and they're powerful. They have a lot of charisma. they got they got a lot to them. All right, they're gonna succeed even if it kills them. And with Taurus on the other end of that, on the IC ruling the 4th house, a lot of them come from stable homes. They might even have came from a little bit of money, and it doesn't mean that they were rich, but it means they had what they needed. And coming from a stable home always benefits people. That's the truth. Now, number 2 on the list of the PrIcElEs top 5 easiest ascendant signs to live with in astrology. This was Sagittarius ascendant. See, not only is there a certain amount of luck that comes involved with that one, but those people typically have this optimistic outlook on life that makes things easier for them. Everything is a learning experience for them, even their relationships. But when it comes to their relationships, with Gemini on the descendant, those can be a little messy. And with Pisces on the IC, or the Immune Coeli, or the Nadir, that could mean that their family life could have been confusing growing up. It could mean there was a spiritual connection, but there is a certain amount of unconditional love there that had to be established. And you have to go through something to establish unconditional love. And it can mean a lot of different things. It can mean that their parents weren't around, or their parents were messing up, or their parents weren't available. So they had to love them despite their faults. Or it could just mean that they have a jaded or a confused understanding of what was really going on in their house and who their parents were. So that does add to some confusion in their life. And that really where they get those identity issues from, because they really aren't sure who the people they came from are, even if they knew them. And then when it comes to number 2, that's Sagittarius ascendant. Number 2 on the list of the PrIcElEs top 5 easiest ascendant signs to live with. Sagittarius ascendant. Right. Now, number 1 on the list of the PrIcElEs top 5 easiest ascendant signs to live with, that was Aries ascendant. That's because everything is where it should be in their chart. Everything is at home. And there's just something powerfully honest about every house being ruled by its natural sign. It simplifies things and it eliminates the need for pretense. I appreciate whoever just sent that on CashApp, whatever you just sent. Appreciate that, Marlo. But for real, man, they're action-oriented in their approach. They're incredibly self-aware. They're doers. So they might be selfish or self-centered or impatient or impulsive, but they're real. They're real. They're authentic. They're genuine. They're honest. They're comfortable in their own skin. But they will fight you. And that is the PrIcElEs top 5 easiest ascendant signs to live with in astrology. And I see they all want me to do the other end next week. We might do the other end next week. I might do the top 5 worst or hardest to live with next week for y'all, since y'all like that one so much. Hit the fucking like button if you haven't hit the like button yet before I get mad. We got about 5 more minutes and then we're out. So does anybody have any questions before we go? It's been a great session, but I can't stay here forever. It's been a fucking awesome session. But we're approaching the 3rd hour, and I gotta stand up. So yeah. Fundamental differences between Aries Sun and Aries Rising. Well, the Sun is exalted in Aries, so I would say, first of all, the Sun is the ego expression. The rising is more or less what you're perceiving, right? And so with an Aries Sun, I would just say they have a dynamic personality. They have a dynamic character. They are very, very, very aware I mean, I just said that for the rising, but I mean, there's going to be qualities that go, they're very aware, they're very creative, they're very awesome, but they can also be savage. The sun does so great in Aries. Aries suns are my favorite people. Period. I love Pisces moons, but Aries suns are my favorite people. Maybe it's because I have a Libra rising and Aries is on my descendant. But Aries suns are my favorite fucking people. My best friend, Aries sun. They don't hold grudges. They get over shit quick. And there's this misperception that Aries are angry. They're not angry. Capricorn might be angry. Virgo might be annoyed. But Aries, no. Now, when it comes to Aries rising, this is really a certain amount of impatience. It's a certain amount of honesty. It's a certain amount of genuinity. And more than anything else, you see that play out in how their life plays out instead of who they are. Now, y'all keep doing it. Y'all want me to do all these. Taurus sun and Taurus ascendant. Taurus ascendant just has this presence to him. Taurus sun is the substance. So yeah. Cherie, you said, what? Can I go off 2 rising signs? What do you mean? What do you mean? This is the last question, then I gotta go. It's been a great session, but it's the last question. I gotta go. You said you're a Capricorn rising, but your chart is Aquarius rising. It's because it's Placidus, and that if it's in the later degree, it's going to look like that. Like for me, everything is split down the middle. You understand? You don't have 2 rising signs. You are a Capricorn rising, but your first house has a lot of Aquarius. Like my client and one of my apprentices, who she still has a long way to go in her classes because she kind of started lifing, but she's a Virgo rising, but she's a 29-degree Virgo rising. So her whole first house is Libra. And her life is like that. But she's a Virgo rising. When you deal with her, you conversate with her, you see that Virgo rising. Her appearance is Virgo rising. You understand? So sometimes when it's just that 1 degree or 2 degrees, it's just how this person appears. And then that first house is everything. So it really shows the substance behind that. So you have to understand that ascendant is not just your first appearance. That's what the first house is. But that sets the tone for everything else in your life. The ascendant point is the most significant point in the chart. So you're a Capricorn rising, but you also you're not like all the other Capricorn risings. You have Aquarius ruling most of your first house. For me, I'm a 16-degree Libra rising. So that means all of my houses are split right down the middle. Right? You get what I'm saying? And so half of my chart is Libra rising. The other half is Scorpio rising. I have some placements that look like a Scorpio rising chart. I have some that look like Libra rising. Most of them look Scorpio rising. You feel me? Like my Cancer sun is in the 9th house. That's more of like a Scorpio rising placement. My Pisces moon is in the 5th house. That's more Scorpio rising. All right. Saturn is in Sagittarius in the 2nd house. That's Scorpio rising. You dig how that goes? If you were judging at it by that. But I'm a Libra rising. I just have half of my first house in Scorpio. And I can show how that actually plays out in my life, personally. Heather Nielsen, you said you saw that Leos are the rarest sun sign. Is that true? I don't think so. I don't think so. What's 9 months before August and September? December and January. Right? So that's one of the time where you're around people. People are fucking. They're going to parties. They're like, no. There's no way Leo rising is. I would say Taurus. Taurus. Not Leo rising. My bad. Leo sun. I would say Taurus. Taurus. You said October. No, what's 9 months before September? 9 months before September is December or January. 9 months before August is December or November. So I wouldn't say that Leo is and I know a lot of Leo, so I can't say that personally. I don't know that many Tauruses. So that's what I'm telling you. It's January. I mean, it's December and January. You see how I just said that? It's December and January. December and January. I would say Taurus is. Look, Remy Rain says she got pregnant in October. That's hard to fathom. I mean, it's possible. I don't know a lot of Tauruses. Maybe it's you got to know the right people. I need to know some Tauruses because Tauruses pay money. I need them ends. I need them ends. October 31st. See, shut up. That's when you got pregnant on Halloween. I'm not trying to play with you. Tauruses pay for what they value. And so I always love Tauruses. You was what about gangsters? East? I need to know some more Tauruses. Tauruses pay that money. Oh, you was raised by gangsters. I believe it. I fucking believe it. So I love y'all. Hey, I gotta go. I appreciate your love and support. For any of y'all interested in any astrological readings whatsoever, don't ever get at me in these comments. Get at me in my email, which is mr.turner1300@gmail.com. And I definitely need the business. I definitely need the business. So if you're looking for a natal chart reading, a solar return reading, a synastry reading, a numerology reading, which is probably my most popular reading for the last 6 months. And they're my favorite to do. Don't get it twisted. I love doing the numerology readings because there's so much information packed in each one of those numerology readings. That shit is priceless for real. I can tell you so much in 30 minutes of a numerology reading. But yeah, numerology readings. I do hour-long consultations. I'm still looking to take on one more apprentice. So if any of y'all are trying to get on my apprenticeship program and you want me to work with you once a week on teaching you what I know about reading charts, get at me. I'm letting you know now. It ain't priced. I mean, it ain't expensive. What I can say, it ain't cheap though. It's priceless. I couldn't even get the right words out. I also do phone call readings as far as consultations or in any of the readings I offer or Zoom sessions. Y'all look for me to be having an interview on StreamYard. I don't know where we're going to be streaming it at, but through StreamYard with my boy Kiera Johnson on Monday. I'm going to also start interviewing people here myself. I actually just did my first test run the other day, and I'm going to be able to do it, so it should be all right. All right? I love you. Get at you next time.